Hi everyone, Materim here again with another battle report, and this is going to be the first of my Brawlers Bash prep tournaments. This has my Ogre Kingdoms facing off against Michael's Dwarves in a 3,000 point pitched battle. We decided since this is our first one not to worry about the scenarios yet. We kind of just want to see how our list building at 3,000 points goes because we don't often play at that point value. So hope you guys enjoy. Alright, and here is our board. I know this really isn't going to be similar to how the terrain at Brawlers goes, since they go with very static terrain. I think it's like 2 hills, 2 forests, and maybe a building. But we just did random terrain because ultimately we know how to handle terrain, and this makes it a little bit more interesting. But realistically, not a whole lot of the terrain mattered here. I think we pretty much end up clogging up that open center area and not really dealing with much else, so don't expect too many terrain-based surprises there. So starting with the dwarf list, and I don't have his list in front of me, so it's not going to be exact. In front of the forest, we have a gyrocopter vanguarded up. There is a gyro bomber hanging out behind the forest. Then he's got a unit of 20 longbeards with hammer and shield. He has a rune lord in there. Next to that is a unit of, I believe it's 20 or 25 longbeards with great weapon. He has a rune smith and his Thane BSB in there. And I know the Thane BSB has the stubborn banner. Or no, the hammer unit has the stubborn banner. Thane BSB has the Groth one-eye banner. Next is a unit of, looks like 20 hammers. He has his dwarf lord on shield bearers there, who's designed to be a character killer. The whole doubling strength against toughness 5, that sort of thing. And then that unit does have, like I said, the stubborn banner. Up on the hill, he has 2 cannons. The one that is painted is has the rune of flame on it, which is the important one here. Then on the other side there, he has a unit of 25 iron drakes. Full command, and they have a rune smith with them. My opponent said what he wanted to do was try putting characters in each unit just to see how it works, since we have so many points to work with. I don't think he's planning on actually bringing the iron drakes, but he wanted to give them a try. So then, my ogres start off with a unit of 10 Noblars with the Trapper upgrade, and I believe they have full command. Let me see. No, they just have Musician and Standard Bearer. Next to that is a unit of 4 Ogres with full command. Then I have my Iron Blaster. In front of my Iron Blaster, I have a single Saber Tusk. Then I have a tried and true Gut Star. It is 11 Iron Guts with full command and the Dragonhide banner. Hiding out in that is my Tyrant with the Armor of Fortune, Greedy Fist, and the Giant Breaker Big Name. My Slaughtermaster, who's level 4 to the Great Maw, he has the Hell Heart and the Noblar Thief Stone. My Bruiser BSB, who has the Rune Maw banner, and a second Bruiser with the Ogre Blade and the Enchanted Shield. So, big, huge block of beatdown right there. Next to that, I have a single Saber Tusk, then 10 more Noblars with Musician and Standard and the Trapper upgrade. Behind them is a unit of 6 Man-Eaters. They're all equipped with additional hand weapon, and they have Stubborn and Swift Stride. Next to them is a unit of 4 Lead Belchers with Bellower. And last but not least, I have a unit of 3 Lead Belchers with a Fire Belly, who is level 2 to Lore Fire with the Dispel Scroll. So in general, I'm kind of seeing if the Gut Star can do the work. I know I have a huge amount invested in characters in this army. I've got 5 total characters, and I'm trying to see if those characters can sort of balance out or essentially get the job done that could be otherwise done with bodies. So we'll see how that goes. So Dwarves get first turn, and they start off by running the gyrocopter here up over my Noblars, doing the once a game bomb and killing off 3 of them, but I'm right there near my general, so I don't panic. And then here, I'm pretty pleased to see that he's coming for me. We both know that in Brawlers, all it really matters is seeing how much you can kill. So the dwarves are going to get aggressive and see if they can't come mix it up, which I'm thrilled to see because it shortens the amount of distance that I have to travel before I slam into them. So shooting, first cannon hits the man-eaters, kills one and puts a wound on a second one. Second cannon fires, hits the man-eaters, kills a second one, and then fails to inflict a wound on the next one, I think is how that ended up working out. But in either case, two man-eaters are dead, one has a wound, but I don't panic or anything. So top of Ogre turn 2, and I really don't know what I'm going to do with these Noblars. They're too far away for anything. So I attempt a swift reform so I can throw rocks at the gyrocopter, fail my swift reform, and just have to do a normal one. Then here on the left, everything starts going for it. I'm moving the... Basically, I just want to get up into some of these units as fast as I can. I'm thinking maybe that Longbeard unit, if I can hit them in the side with this Ogres, I can weaken them up before my big units come in. And I basically want to get the dogs in there to just kind of block things up and prevent counter charges, or at least complicate. And over here, I'm trying to do the same thing. I want to get close enough to do some shooting, but I kind of boxed myself in with the Noblars here. They can't move fast enough to get the hell out of my way. So I'm just going to have to push them up and let my man-eaters sort of try and survive the cannon shots. I'm hoping if he keeps shooting at them, at least he won't target the Gut Star. So there's that. And over here, these guns and the Fire Belly stay in the building. So, turn 1 magic phase. Keep in mind I don't know that he has a flaming cannon yet, so I risk Troll Guts on the Gut Star unit thinking that I'll be able to keep him safe. I miscast it, get it off, kill an Ogre, put 2 wounds on a second, and suck my Slaughtermaster into the void bottom of turn 1. So... that's awesome. That's a good 380 some points that I just gift wrapped and handed over to my opponent. Oh boy, I'm hoping this isn't a sign of how this game's about to go. Then over here, my shooting is atrocious. Between the shooting and the rest of my magic out of the Fire Belly, I kill 1 Hammerer and 1 Iron Drake, and that's it. So, yeah, I am owned. I need to do way more damage with the shooting that I'm getting away from, and I've done nothing to soften up these dwarf units. I've just got to pray that I can hit them and just crash into them hard. But I was really hoping to have at least done some casualties of note by this point, and I'm kind of disappointed that that was not the case. And to go ahead and show how terrible my shooting is, the Iron Blaster had grape-shotted the freaking gyrocopter and only managed to do 2 wounds on it, which strength 10 grape shot, which is awesome. So we go into Dwarf turn 2. He lines up here to get just a perfect shot down the line of my Noblars. Is probably going to vaporize those guys. And as far as the rest of his line goes, my opponent realizes he's not going to really get much by coming forward any, because he's still got kind of long charges to make. So he kind of reforms, like you see here, to get ready to take Ogres in the face. And over here he flies his bomber over my Ogres, tries to bomb them. The bomb goes way wide and does nothing. So during shooting, he blasts the Noblars with some steam, does enough damage to panic them, and they turn and run. None die to dangerous terrain, but in a couple turns they'll be running off the board. And I think this is the last picture I even bother taking. And then between his 2 cannons, first the flame cannon misses, but then he ends up blasting me with the Iron Drakes, which have flaming attacks, so that gets rid of the regen. So between them and the second cannon, I lose 2 more Ogres or 2 more Iron Guts out of this unit, which sucks. But at least he was not able to peg out any of my characters yet. So we go into Ogre turn 2, and I'm going charge crazy. First charge I declare is with the Iron Blaster at his gyrocopter. He chooses to flee with the gyrocopter, rolls like garbage, and I catch him. Then you can see I'm charging these Ogres into the the Longbeards there. I'm charging that Sabertusk actually catty corner into the flank of the Longbeards with great weapons to get him out of the way, because there's just enough room for me to slip in on that flank and have my Gutstar hit him in the front. So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. And here you can pretty much see how it goes. Gutstar slams into the front of the great sword or great weapon Longbeards. I slam my man-eaters into the hammer unit because I know the hammers are kind of glass cannons, and I'll actually be striking before them with the man-eaters. So I wanted to get in and chew them up before the counterattack. I tried to charge the Iron Drakes with the Noblars and end up like an inch in front of them, and then I do get in on the flank of the hammer and shield guys. Over here, my guys come out of the building because there's not a whole heck of a lot to shoot at from this distance, so I'm going to start moving them up as well. And then I run, little kitty through the gap, trying to get into those cannons. I'm pretty confident that if I can get into those cannons, I can chew them up, or at very least stop them from shooting anything. So that's my aim. So magic and shooting are pretty worthless. We do this combat here, and it is just whiff city. I think I might have killed one of the hammer or the axe and shield guys. They did nothing back to me, but they beat me in static combat res, even charging on the flank. So I stick, but they reform and look at me, and that's going to be bad next turn. Over here, the man-eaters absolutely devour the hammers here, but the Dwarf Lord, I think one of it, like I try and challenge him out with my Noblar captain here, but he just throws one of the random hammers into him because they can do that because his general's there. And we did a bunch to him, so there's only like a champion and the Lord left, but you can see I've only got 2 man-eaters left at this point. Though it is very fitting that one of them is the Dwarf Slayer man-eater. And then here in the center, Ogre's just absolutely own face. I pretty much delete this unit except for of rank and his character, the BSB in there. So, yeah, I mean, what are you going to say? Ogre Gutstar with characters in it. Yeah. But because they're all stubborn, they stick, and we're going to have to go into a bit of a grind, but I should be able to take care of them next turn. Though he did, actually, his BSB did do 2 or 3 wounds to my general, which was a little disconcerting. So we go into Dwarf turn 3. Gyro Bomber comes over here. Had to march to get here to start causing trouble for my ranged guys. His Iron Drakes just shimmy a little bit. He doesn't really want to charge into the Noblars for fear of the dangerous terrain, but he wants to get some line of sight to basically shoot through that gap between the combat and the Noblars and take out these these lead belchers that are in the bottom right corner. So it's good a job as any, I guess. But I think he could be doing much better to get some better effect out of these guys. So in shooting, he opens up on the Noblars that are right in front of him, figuring he needs more of a line of sight than that and doesn't want to give me the hard cover. And kills all but 3 of them. And by random dice luck, I stick around and don't panic, so that's pretty awesome. Then during combat, my champion gets into a challenge with his guy. He ends up doing a wound on the champion and a wound on the unit, and then breaks them. They run off, so the banner dies, and he chooses to restrain and face my Gutstar, who's about to make short work of the unit in front of him. Then over in this combat, his Dwarf Lord fluffs. I do manage to kill the last of the Hammer unit, but his Dwarf Lord only does 2 wounds to my Noblar champion, and so we stay around. He loses, but he's stubborn leadership 10, so he's not going in. Then over here, and this may be something we played wrong, but I don't think so. I basically kill everybody in the unit in the center except for the BSB. They break and flee. Now the BSB dies where he stands, so my pursuits, which because they did break I get to pursue, should run from center to center of the units pursuing towards the target. So that basically let me run the Saber Tusk out of the way, and the overrun of the Gut Star ends up touching the corner, because they go basically straight on, touch the corner of this sword and shield, or axe and shield long beard unit, which then means from that point I get to treat it like a new charge, and they come in and maximize like this. I think that's how it works. If not, feel free to let me know. But yeah, I'm in there, and I believe I got Ogre charge on the overrun, or the pursuit, which sends me into a bonus impact hit situation into this other unit, which is super awesome. So then it's my turn. My cannon comes around the hill to go after to grape shot this gyro bomber. My lead belcher's swift reform to do the same in case the iron blaster chokes again. The ogres that were running rally and reform into a single line there. And if you can see at the very tip top, I did succeed a charge with that cannon with the saber tusk. So all in all, good start of a turn. And over here, I keep moving up. I'm trying to shoot the iron drakes, but it's not doing much. And my magic really isn't going to accomplish anything, because the iron drakes have a 2-up against fire. So not good. So during shooting, my iron blaster chokes as predicted, misfires, and blows itself up. And then the lead belcher shooting at the gyro bomber got something like 22 shots, I think. It was something stupid, like almost max. I ended up getting something like 15, 16 hits. I wounded with 4 of them, and he succeeded the 6-up armor save with 3, so I inflicted 1 wound on the gyro bomber. Then in combat over here, both myself and the cannon crew fluff, so we stare at each other going, what now? And then over here, the ogres just eat this unit of Longbeard's whole. I think he had a character left when it broke and we ran him down. He did do some damage. I think he killed off 1 ogre. The dice you see in the corner are the wounds that are still on Tokron and the other bruisers. So he's getting points, because in Brawlers you get points if a single model is reduced below half wounds. So he's getting some there, but not enough. Then over here, his lord continues to fluff, does kill the champion, or the guys under him kill the champion, I'm sorry, but my Maneater does a wound to him, so I've done 1 out of, I think, 5 wounds on the guy, and we're just kind of hanging around. I think I win this I lose this combat, but I stay. So we go into what I believe is Dwarf turn 4. He slides over his iron drakes a little bit, and that's his only movement. And then he pumps 10 shots into the Noblars again and kills 2 of them. My last Noblar does not panic and is standing there going, "What? Suck my tiny green nuts." So I was kind of rolling on that. It was really, really funny. And then he uses his 1 cannon to blast into the ogres. He doesn't do very well. I think he inflicts 2 wounds. Or he might have killed 1 guy and inflicted 2 wounds on another. Something like that. He didn't do very well. I think he hit Tokron, and I lookout surd. And that was about it. So he was really needing to do a lot of damage with his cannon this turn, because he's probably not going to have it for much longer. Then in combat, I kill 1 of the dudes on the cannon, which is enough to cause them to break, but I'm figuring they're leadership 10. It doesn't have a reroll, but he's leadership 10, stubborn, big deal. And then he rolls an 11 and I kill the thing. So it just blows up, and I'm ready to charge into the next one on my turn. And over here, his lord whiffs for the 3rd straight turn. Doesn't inflict any wounds on my Dwarven Maneater there. But I don't do anything to him, so I win by the banner that's there. But again, he's leadership 10 or 9 on the roll now, and he's not going anywhere. And this is a little out of order, but that's because it happened out of order. My opponent forgot to move his gyro bomber. I decided to go ahead and let him do it. He may have tried to drop a bomb on something, but I don't even remember. It didn't do anything. But he's right there basically to get in the way if I turn around and try and cause trouble. So we go to the Ogre turn, and I move up my gunners again. I'm going to try and get some more shots off on these Iron Drakes. I charge one of my cats into the cannon. The other one I put up on top of the hill to like look around, with the idea that if he tries to like flee from me with the bomber, I want to have something that can chase after it. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. Then here, I turn the Gut Star around to stare down that poor gyro bomber and bring my 3 remaining ogres towards the fight. I'm trying to line up to get in there. It's going to be a little tight. I'm going to definitely have to see how things go to decide where to put the pressure, because I would love to get the points for that Lord, but he is just damn near unkillable. And during shooting, the lead belchers finally decide to show up to work today, and between the 2 units, they just blow half of those Iron Drakes off the board in one time. And you'll notice that my my Noblar has stepped to the side. The Noblar actually stepped to the side, and I forgot to talk about it, and he did actually kill one of the one of the Iron Drakes with his rock. So, way to go, Noblar. You're pretty awesome, dude. And for turn 4, or combat turn 4 straight, Dwarf Lord can't hit the side of a barn. I don't do anything back, but I win. He's not breaking. I think the big thing about this guy is tooled up to kill characters, but since it requires somebody with toughness 5 or more to double his strength, me throwing the man-eaters in was perfect because they're toughness 4, so he's needing 4s to wound and just isn't getting it. But then we go into the dwarf turn. I guess this is 5. This is pretty much it. He leaves everything where it is. In shooting, he kills one of the... Oh, and I killed his cannon last turn, too. But the Iron Drakes blow up one of my lead belchers, put a wound on another one. Then we go into combat. Dwarf Lord finally shows up for work and kills the last of the man-eaters. Then in my turn 5, apparently that man-eater was very popular, or at very least owed a lot of people money, because as soon as that Dwarf Lord was free, I slam the ogres into his front, I slam the man-eaters into his one flank, and I slam one of the 2 cats into his other flank. At this point, I'm just trying to overwhelm him with combat res and see what I can do. I also throw the Gut Star into the gyro bomber, figuring it's just going to die, and that's what I absolutely want for it to happen because I need the points. And over here, the lead belchers keep moving up to try and do some more damage to the Iron Drakes. So yeah, during shooting, I kill a couple more Iron Drakes, and then we go into combat, and basically nothing's going on. He's not killing any of my guys, I'm not breaking him, but I do manage to take out the gyro bomber and reorient my Gut Star there. So I basically missed taking pictures of both turn 6s, and this is kind of what turned out. So I'll kind of explain what happens. In Dwarf turn 6, he charges the Iron Drakes into the lead belchers that were hanging out there. The combat definitely goes his way. The lead belchers and the ogres take some wounds and both break. They turn to run. He tries to pursue the ogres with the Dwarf Lord and fails, but he does get out of my front arc of the Gut Star, and then tries to pursue the lead belchers with the Iron Drakes and fails, leaving him just totally open to a rear charge from the the Gut Star. So top of my turn 6, or bottom of 6 for me, the ogres rally, the lead belchers rally, so he doesn't get half points for either of those, because Brawlers awards half points for fleeing at the end of the turn. And then my Gut Star just slams him in the back of the head, and I think the Iron Drakes died on impact hits, or if they didn't, Tok'ran with his 6 attacks finished them off. They were absolutely slaughtered, so that was pretty much that. And here's just what it looks like at the end of the game. The only thing I did not get any points for from my opponent was his Dwarf Lord, because he had only suffered 1 wound. Didn't get him below half. Beyond that, I tabled him. He did get more points than I would have thought. He ended up with 12 or 1,400 points because of the characters and the various other stuff that was lost. So, not a great showing for him, but not terrible as Brawler's Bash measures things. So, that was a pretty obvious victory for the Ogre Kingdoms. In sort of final thoughts, I thought it went very well, given the army that I was up against. Now, I think if I was up against an army with magical benefits, pretty much anything but dwarves, the fact that I lost my Slaughtermaster so early would have absolutely brutalized me. Also, I think against a more mobile army with some chaff, I could have had my that big gut star just held up for days, and it really wouldn't have been able to do anything like it did. So, I definitely think this particular build is kind of a win big, lose big idea. So I definitely am going to make some changes. I've already got my list for our second test put together here. I'm radically changing my character setup. I'm going from 5 characters to 3. I'm changing. Basically, I'm changing my setup entirely on each of the characters. And with the new list, I dropped the extra caster, and it doesn't give me room for magic defenses, so I'm probably going to change that. But I definitely want to use the Iron Guts in a smaller unit. I figured it would be interesting to flip basically what I did here and have a small Iron Gut unit to kind of deal with some high armor problems, and just a big mass of bodies, like 18 ogres, to just kind of see what I can do. I definitely like the Man-Eaters. I may play a little bit with their been there, done that, and their gear out equipping to see what I can do with them, see if they can become a little more than just a support unit. But they did their work here. I mean, they killed the hammer unit by themselves, which more than earned their points, and then held up that Dwarf Lord all game long. And if that Dwarf Lord had gotten into the Iron Gut unit, he would have chewed up at least 2 of my characters. Because, I mean, that's what he was designed to do, but the Man-Eaters are perfect for handling that. Beyond that, I think I've got things good with the Saber Tusks. I'm planning on pulling the Noblars out because I want space for some other stuff. And I don't know that they're fast enough to do what I want them to do, and they're a little more defensive than I think a Brawlers Bash army needs. So, I don't know when I'm going to get my next game in, but we're definitely going to do more practice with this to just kind of fine-tune our lists. I mean, we've got till the end of February before they're due, so we definitely want to get in as many games as we can to just get ready. I mean, we're not tournament people by any stretch of the imagination, but we would like to go and have a good time and have a good showing. It would be nice. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's not my usual fare, but maybe watching us blindly struggle through tournament prep will be fun for you. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. If you have any suggestions, if you happen to be an Ogre Kingdoms player, or for that matter a Dwarf player, and have some ideas as to how our lists could have been better, definitely we would enjoy the assistance. So, and if you are seeing this for the first time, please subscribe. I do high quality content all the time, though it is more usually of a narrative nature. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next time.